at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you much. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. A few short moments ago, running back Todd Gurley trying to fire up the Ram faithful here in Southern California as his guys get set to do battle with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Rams team as they interplay. They've been playing their best football of the year, winners of 4 in a row.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they have certainly got it rolling of late, winners of 6 in a row.
And it's simple. The more you win in the regular season, the more likely you play at home in the postseason, and that can take you deep into January.
Here we go, the final week of the NFL season, Week 17. Is underway. This is taken at the 3, and he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Flag down. This could set him back.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Now, this is going to put him back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Goff turns and gives to Gurley. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And it appears we've got a member of the Rams shaken up on that last play. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down right at about the 15-yard line. Vic Beasley able to make the tackle.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Fielded at the 20. Sidesteps him at the 35. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll have Matt Ryan calling the shots, the former MVP and 3rd overall pick.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now it's Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The numbers for Julio in last week's effort: 5 catches, 113 yards.
And he's trying to prove the adage, it's not just how you start, it's how you finish. And he is finishing awfully strong, takes great care of his body. I expect him to go ahead and put a capper on this season.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Aaron Donald in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that. Give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week. They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That one.
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Aaron Donald in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field.
They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
They go play action with Gurley. Now Goff. He's going to air one out. He's got him in. Complete. Brandon Cooks. Touchdown, LA. Brandon Cooks, 91 yards. And the Rams are going to take a first quarter lead. And I think it's safe to say we won't call many touchdown passes longer than that this year, partner.
No, I would agree with that totally. And right now, you're looking at an offensive coordinator. Conservative would not go next to his name. Risk taker, definitely, because he valued the opportunity to create a big play against what could have been disaster if they end up getting sacked or fumbling the ball in the shadow of their own goal line.
Extra point forthcoming. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And what a return. Great field position all the way out to the 48-yard line.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here.
And as these guys interplay in Week 17, we know one thing. They are playoff bound, but they want to win that division title. They told us that is a goal that's been posted in their locker room since day one. They've got the chance to control their own destiny.
And there's nothing more powerful than saying that you won the division, because I know from building a team, when I talk with all the GMs and the player personnel directors, they always talk about to get to the playoffs in the NFL, you have to have a team that's constructed to win your division. Beat those teams first. That's your #1 path to getting there, and they can get that done in this game.
No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On 3rd down, Ryan. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. John Johnson with the INT. And he'll get this back across the midfield, striping down to the 47-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
After the interception, here's Goff. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Tech McKinley. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp, and he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Following the penalty, it's Gurley. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back live now to begin the second quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Rams with a football to get us going. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it, and this one winds up no good.
From midfield now, here's Ryan. Man open, and this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
So a favorable bounce that time, to say the least, and he's able to convert the field goal there from long distance.
Yeah, the guys behind the end zone didn't need to hike the net up for this one. That thing was a dying quail, but he finds a way to boink it off the crossbar and make it drop through.
Bryant now, after hitting the field goal, gets set to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Rams now coming out on the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
Encroachment, defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Goff now looking to throw. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And that one results in 35 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield, But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Tyler Higbee, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Rams add on to their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 11. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Ryan. Caught by Jones. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. Dancing to his left. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Ryan will throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trent Murphy, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a 1st down. A first chance in the red zone for the Falcons now. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Ryan eluding the pressure right. It fights him off. And his throw's going to be incomplete. There defensively was John Johnson to knock it free.
I'd love to know what he's saying in the huddle now to his guys up front because it's been a steady stream of pressure on him this entire game. That time, able to avoid the sack, but he's got to talk to his offensive line and say, guys, just a couple seconds extra, please.
Second and 10 now. Ryan. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Dante Fowler in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And the trick play doesn't work. Good reaction there defensively, and it'll be 4th down. And Bryant's kick is good. And a 2nd field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Bryant now, after hitting the field goal, gets set to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again here on offense. offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. And he is the NFC reigning offensive player of the week. You got to think, all the guys that take the field each and every week, that's not an easy award. Always has to feel good to grab.
It has to feel great because it separates you, at least for a week, amongst your peers. And for him to separate again, he has to have the same type of a game. That means being explosive off the line of scrimmage and catching everything that comes his way. We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Another big hitter there, this one good for 18. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Goff now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Throwing again is Goff. Over the middle, that's hauled in by Cup. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. To the air again, Goff. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The Rams on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Again, Goff. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
We've already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Ryan. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
They go play action here on first down. And the Rams got it. They bring him down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here's Ryan. And Jones has it over the middle. And they do finally get him, but he makes it all the way to the 6. Now a timeout called with 3 seconds to go. And, of course, they're in field goal range in the final seconds of this first half. And Bryant's kick is good. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17, as we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports Halftime Report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll begin with a good one in the NFC South. Carolina paying a visit to New Orleans. And it's the Panthers who are out in front. Cam Newton with a couple of touchdown passes there. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they fall in that one to the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get out to Jacksonville. See what's happening with the Jaguars at TIAA Bank Field. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Tampa Bay Bucks. Jameis Winston, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. In the game you're watching, it was Jared Goff with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1 touchdown. Game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 6. Shifts by him. And a good return up past the 30, but was it aided by an illegal block or a hold? Let's see.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 22. From the shotgun, Ryan toward the center of of the field, but it's incomplete. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones is intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's Ryan. Forced out to his left. Looking downfield for Joe. That's caught inside the 20. And great yardage here all the way deep into Los Angeles territory. A big play there, Ryan to Jones. 68 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Now Ryan. And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 40, past the 20, and he will score. Touchdown, LA. So a pick six there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick six going the other way.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is up to 15 now. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
And it's caught over the middle. Hooper. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Ryan now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now it's Ryan. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. Aaron Donald in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him.
And this is caught at the 20. That goes as a gain of 36 on 3rd down. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, here's Ryan on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 11 more on that one, and another 1st down. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Ryan stepping up. He's going to keep it. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons cut into that lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Now Ryan leading the Falcons up to go for 2. They're going to try and run. And he will get into the end zone, but there is a flag down. This one may be coming back.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Bryant's extra point up and good. And that will get him one closer. Now here's Bryant to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On first down, it's Gurley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
When trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
Another carry now for Gurley. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Throwing on third, Goff. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively. Getting set to go again on offense, we get a peek at Julio Jones now. And I think we both agreed he could have a really good game with this matchup, but over 200 yards now.
I don't think we saw it as that good, and I think what really makes it special is when games like this are occurring, it's not just getting locked in and in the zone and on a roll. It's continuing to adjust throughout the game because, you know, the defense is kicking coverages.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for Mohamed Sanu there. And that takes us from second to third down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their third of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity.
To throw is Ryan. He's going to loft one. Deep left side. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, 78 yards. And now the Falcons are within a 2-point conversion of tying up the game. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Matt Ryan now breaks the huddle. His guys will go for 2.
Delay of game, offense.
This certainly feels like they were wanting to go for 2, but weren't really sure they should go for 2. Do we, don't we, do we, don't we? And guess what ends up happening?
5-yard penalty.
That's right. Now you probably line up and kick the extra point.
Hey, express! 58, gun!
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Akeem Talib. And it's a big turnover there on the final play of the quarter. For the 4th quarter, will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Now here's Bryant to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
Throw right side is into the hands of his tight end, Everett. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
From the gun on 3rd down, gone. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And there he goes, right side. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
The pressure there was definitely enough to make him alter his throw, because if he had had time, he had a man wide open and had a chance to get it to him.
Yeah, I think if he had just another split second, that's a completion and a touchdown. And he takes it across for a Rams touchdown. Todd Gurley, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Rams add on to their lead.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times that's a passing play.
The kicker, this has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. Oh, able to avoid him. And now the rookie's free. 20, 10, touchdown, Falcons. As his guys are in for 6, and the Falcons have cut it to within a score. And that big 4th quarter return, Charles, makes this a 1-score game.
And now it all comes down to philosophy. All right, they just had the big return for a touchdown, so the momentum is high. Do you want to ride that and go for 2? The extra point and come back and rely on your defense.
So let's try this again. After the kick return, TD, here's yet another kickoff. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. And remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Now a play fake here on first down. Working the middle here. That's complete to Everett, the tight end. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. A huge play that time for the Rams. 51 yards. It's first and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. It's first and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. The one running back is Gurley. Goff. This is caught. And he's going to take Higbee. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Rams add on to their lead.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So out come the Falcons now. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points. This is caught at the 20. And he's taken down all the way inside the LA 10. A big-time play there for the Falcons. 69 yards. They'll run here with Freeman. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal. Clock running, and the Falcons moving with a sense of urgency. Now it's Ryan. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Aqib Talib, the veteran Pro Bowler, there to get a hand in, knock it away.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
This fielded at the 2. Gets around him. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Now on second down, this is Gurley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. The Rams on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. As they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. I would imagine you want to win every game big, but if you're a quarterback in the NFL, this is the spot that you love.
You've been dreaming of it since you were a kid, playing in the backyard or the front yard, wherever, where you went through those imaginary situations. Now it's reeled up. What practice have you put in since the OTAs and mini camps, preseason camp, sequence of plays, get the ball to the outside, get it out of bounds, save your timeouts, move the ball downfield to get your team in a position to win the game.
And a field goal, of course, no good. They need a score. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones with 8 seconds remaining. And the Falcons are an extra point away from having the lead. A very important extra point there, up and good. And that might be enough to win them the football game as they now take the lead in the final seconds. This is taken at the 3. And down he goes just shy of the 25. Now a penalty marker is down. Let's see what that's about.
Holding, receiving team.
Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. With that field position after the return wasn't terrific, it's not a great starting field position as well.
One last throw here for Goff. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done.